Well, you're going to love this. And it's one of the reasons why I can't stress enough the importance of raising the speed of your vibration. Because the higher the speed of the vibration, the higher your state of awareness, the more you're aware of. And I realize I've covered a lot of material, but here's an example of what just happened. Two police officers in Sparks, Nevada here decided to come into this little park where I come every morning to do what I do with on these videos, right? And they naturally sort of look towards homeless people. Hey, what are you doing here? You got a place to stay? You got any money on you? Where do your income and all these kind of questions, right? Now, for the normal person who's a homeless person that's already been traumatized, and of course I don't know where they're from. They could be from anywhere in the galaxy wearing a skin suit. But because things are changing so fast, the first question I asked me is that what prompted them to come in here to this park? Because I'm here every morning. It's the first time I've ever seen them. So I figured at some point in time they're probably going to come over and talk to me, and sure enough they did. So they usually ask the normal questions. So you can imagine what happened when they meet somebody like me, okay? So this was a very interesting question. I shook their hands twice. Naturally, I gave them a smile, and I began sharing with them. This is sort of how a teacher is going to talk to a student that's in a uniform, right, that works for the police. So I basically let them know what is the truth. That, listen, NSA has a tag on me, okay? They let me know because they changed the name on my channel from what it used to be to Rose Sweet, and let me know because they ask me from time to time, hey, where are you going next? They realize when you live through the vortex of your heart and you're a higher density consciousness being, in which there's no limit to where we can go because of the speed in which we experience who we are, which is what love is in living spirit, okay, that we already won this, which means the light already won this, and of course we know that. That means we're aware of an enormous amount of data. So you can imagine when I began, I told them, listen, I work in the data collection business, which means I spin an enormous amount of data through my heart. Therefore, I have a lot of value because it means I'm aware of a lot of stuff that most people are not aware of. So here's an example of that. You guys understand how the heart works, right? It's not a pump, it's a vortex. You all know how a top works, and if you've ever looked at a picture of the Milky Way galaxy, what allows everybody to go fast to experience a particular speed at which they're experiencing what they are in the light, you look at a Milky Way galaxy and you get the message. Well, your heart works the same way. So therefore, I'm aware of what's going on in the Milky Way galaxy because I'm connected to it, okay? Just like I am with every other galaxy, okay? Because we're source units. Therefore, we run on infinite love, which is infinite light, which is infinite creative imagination. So I began sharing with him because both these guys have served in the military. So I thought, oh, cool, you guys have been in the military, so therefore you probably know certain things, how they work. So I tell them, listen, I used to work with the Department of Defense. I work within the U.S. Navy. I've had a top secret security clearance. I've had a Q clearance, Department of Energy. And all of a sudden that becomes something they can identify with, isn't it? So now all of a sudden I pull them into my classroom. And the next thing you know is I start sharing some information. So I have to be very careful about the things that I know that I'm aware of, that I know that they're not aware of. So I begin to read what it is that they're aware of, that they're not aware of. And I have to be careful of what I share, because then all of a sudden it might set off a red flag in them, like, who the fuck is this guy? Shit, do I got reason to be concerned with him? So they started asking me questions like, well, you got a tattoo on you? They were looking for some sort of proof to show either I was in the military, because see, they were in the military. That's like a brotherhood, right? So you see how this sort of goes. So I began using the science of things that I know, and I said, I'll give you an example about how intelligence works, whether you're CIA, whether you're MI6, whether you're, GRU, and the rest of it. I can shake your hand and collect all the data that represents what's in your DNA, pull it up on a hologram, and I can sit there and look at everything you've ever experienced and know everything you ever know, which means I can collect data from you. Did you know we know how to do that? He sort of looked at me like, what? So I began to realize, okay, well, you're not on that level yet, okay? And I said, well, that's why we work in the intelligence area, because we can collect data in all sorts of ways. So, when this gets into density consciousness of what it is that you're aware of and the speed at which you're aware of what you're aware of is off the charts compared to what these guys run. So I mentioned to them, because they were wondering, like, don't you have any family, a girlfriend, anybody that you hang out with? I said, listen, I hang out at a homeless shelter. I said, I've been in 4 homeless shelters. I said, it's sort of like when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do. Listen, I could be at a university 5 years ago making a lot of money if money's what you do. But for me, that means instead of giving away more electrons, I'm essentially being used as a unit of consciousness to do a job in which I get paid money. And that's not who I am, because I realize the period of time that we're in right now, I need to make sure that my state of consciousness is focused and running full speed. Okay, so that I'm connecting the speed of the data that I'm experiencing with other guys that are on the planet that are trying to shift. Okay, shift the consciousness to fifth density, which is going home, and try and make it so that we can take as many people as we can that can shift with us, so that we separate the timeline between the one that collapses and the one that goes. So 0 point's been secured. Thank you very much, Patty baby. So we know where we're going, and we know exactly why I do everything that I do. So I can't allow my consciousness to be held captive to a distraction or an attachment. So that's why I told them, everything I do on my own. I'm already taken care of. I don't have to worry about anything. But see, their point of reference is, hey, you need Social Security, you need this, you need that. I don't think you understand how energy works, okay, or consciousness. So I tried to explain to them the difference in the densities. We're going home. So I told them there's a separation going on right now between people that are fear-based and love-based. And what that means is that if you're going to shift with us, you need to get your energy up. So I told them, listen, you guys are law enforcement. You're basically the gatekeepers on the surface level of the community. So you're going to experience more people that are in a state of fear, because they're going to begin to realize that the events that are accelerating at such a high rate of speed, if they're staying in the fear-based vibration, they're going to separate at a higher rate of speed from us, because we're going in the other direction, because everything that's based on fear, we're giving love. So I mentioned that to them. So if nothing else, so he gave me his business card. So I thought, sure, I'll be more than happy to provide you with intelligence, which is just information. That's what intelligence does. They collect data. So we collect an enormous amount of data. That's why it's impossible for me to just spit out, okay, everything that I'm aware of at any one given moment of time, because it's moving so fast right now. Okay. So that's why I'm getting ready to make an exit. Because I realize it's time to move. I want to move in a place where I can spread more light, cool down the fear and the trauma, and because of all the fires over on the California side, and particularly bear country, because I'm white bear. Okay, so my first introduction to them was, hey, I'm clan, I'm white bear, I'm a native Indian. Okay, so what I don't do is I don't try and get into what I call verbal combat. Everything has to come from a point of view of what a love vibration is, and divulging what I know that I'm aware of in ways that assist them, and they realize, wow, you're providing a lot of information to me. That's right. Isn't that what you guys want? I'm giving you information as an intelligence unit in which you can be more aware of what's going on, that hopefully that'll help you. So what happens is that I guarantee you those two guys are going to be mulling around to themselves when they get back to their station and go, you know what? We met a guy out there at the park today that was telling us about DNA and handshakes and all the rest of this. Wow. I guarantee you. I said, yeah, go to YouTube. All this information's in the public domain if you have an interest and you have the time to do it. Remember, that's what it is. They want to capture your time, which is to capture your lower density consciousness and keep you stuck on a time clock. So when you lose your attachments and you free your spirit, which is to free your consciousness to be free to be what it is you want to manifest and create and thus experience, you're changing your reality. That's what it is in the higher consciousness realms. You're free. That's what freedom is. Okay? Your consciousness is free. It's not held captive by something that's wanting to hold it captive, because it does not have the ability to generate a high-speed waveform of communication. That is a measurement of a student in the cosmos. Where are you at? Where are you at in your coursework? How fast are you going in time-space to where you move into hyperspace? Okay? You move to the higher dimensions. A hypercube, a tesseract. Okay? Shh. See? So when your state of consciousness and you love the highest energies there are to move, which is like, for me, riding the waves of a goddess. I love to run all her high-speed stuff. Okay? So you know your niche, your energy niche, the kind of energy that you love to hang out with. Okay? So I love to hang out with big, powerful spirits, the big energy producers. They love us. That's why they give us their energy for free. Okay? That becomes a translation in what we learn as children. That's a sun up there. That's free energy. You're not being charged for that energy. Okay? That's the first clue you live in a free universe. You're free to live as you please. There's only one law. Love is the law. And that's a high-speed frequency. When you've learned through all of our lessons and coursework, through the value that we've learned by the energy we experience, you begin to realize that the higher the frequency of the energy that we're experiencing releases you from captivity in your own state of mind and living spirit. Have a great day. I love you all. What a beautiful experience that was.